Nadera, I want to ask maybe a final question, which is on this report that came out on the October 7th report that the UN just put out on the question of the rape and the sexual violence. Now, I want to ask you as a Palestinian feminist who's there. There's been a lot of criticism of this report and the fact that it still, as far as I know, still relies almost entirely on Israeli official sources with almost no actual eyewitnesses. And yet, of course, if one were to express this kind of thing, just to say that on social media or anything else, one is open to attack for being against women and against, so how do you read that, and how do you compare that to the absolute silence of all the other reports and all the rigorously documented reports on sexual violence, let alone violence, sexual violence towards Palestinian men and women, and girls and boys?
Well, it's very telling. The way I read it as shaming the state of Israel, because they're using women's bodies, women's sexuality, and women's intimate life to play with it in political terms. Now, if rapes, abuses, sexual abuses, gang rapes, it always happened in war times. It always happened. We know of my book on militarization and violence against women covers this topic. And we know that the state of Israel, 1948, there is a report, for example, in Nirin, exactly that specific place where October 7th started, there was a case of a Bedouin woman, a Bedouin young girl that was not only, there's documentation that I managed to get from the archive whereby Ben Gurion learned about the case, and the captain, the military officer, asked the soldiers, "What do you want to do with the Bedouin woman? Do you want us to kill her, or do you want us to rape her?" And the answer was litfokota, to fuck her. This is something that I've written about, and in my book on unchilding, it opens up the chapter on the Naqab area. Abuses and sexual abuses happen, and it shouldn't happen. And I will never approve it, not to Israelis, nor to Palestinians, and not in my name. The reports sometimes can get testimonies, some other times cannot get testimonies. The issue is is Israel allowing proper collection of evidence? Plus, personally, as a feminist, I don't go and interrogate rape victims. If a woman said she was raped, I will believe her. I do not need evidence, and I don't want to go check facts, to be honest. This is my opinion. The issue is that even that we don't see women coming out and saying what happened. So women's bodies are being used as political weapons. If it happened not in my name, if it didn't happen, it's shame on the state to use women's bodies and sexuality to promote political agendas, to promote further dispossession of land, to promote further killing, to promote abuse and rape, and keep in mind that the rapeability of the Palestinian based on the Zionist agenda is hard at work in so many ways. And I've, again, have written about that. And the state crime that is sexualized and genderized is there. So we need to, number one, remember, this is a very dishonest to come to say the state, they will use everything to further kill. It's a killing machine, and it's a political regime that can survive only on the erasure of Palestinians, and only when they will stop this and they will acknowledge what they're doing, we can start talking, but not to criminals. Criminals should be punished at this point. So I don't know what to tell you else about, when I look at the pictures, at the photos of soldiers today getting into Palestinian homes, using the lingerie, playing with it, and laughing and putting it on tanks and putting it on rifles. What is it? What is this if it's not sexual abuse? When you see how, the way they're treating men, undressing them, keeping them with nothing, using that, what is it if it's not sexual abuse? So using dogs exactly like what happened in Abu Ghraib, the body of the Palestinian, the living body, the dead body, the cut to pieces body, are all capital in the hands of this Zionist entity. And of course, they will use any lie. They started with babies, they continued with rape, they will continue with million other lies every day with another story. We stopped believing them. I hope that the world will stop believing them. And if things like this happen, not in my name, I will never approve it.